Rain slicked the streets, the pub's neon sign casting a faint glow on the wet pavement. A good night for this, I thought with a flicker of doubt. Intuition can be a fickle friend. Reaching the pub a few minutes early, I scanned for a discreet corner. Parking the van out of sight, I secured it and checked for unwanted eyes. All clear. Inside, the near emptiness confirmed a typical midweek lull. Perfect. A nod to the barmaid yielded my usual drink and a quick exchange of pleasantries about the weather and the local football team's woes. "They're in the back," she said with a jerk of her head. Thanks, and a short walk later, I found my group for urban explorers, a mix of ages, all looking mismatched in their outdoor gear. This was it, the job. For figures occupied the back room, a mismatched group united by their outdoor gear. Despite their youth, 3 seemed barely 30. Their leader, a wiry older man, held court with a droning monologue. I stifled the urge to silence them. Establishing dominance could wait. Introductions were brief. I used a pseudonym, a necessary precaution in this murky business. They, however, revealed their real names, a condition of our arrangement. My research had paid off. Faces now had names. The young couple, Keith and Kim, were inseparable, their affection radiating like a beacon in the dim room, a stark contrast to the cynical shell I tried to maintain. Sure, I missed the warmth, the connection, the very things advertising thrives on. But there were other rewards for a seasoned guide like myself. The old man, Bruce, was a walking know-it-all, droning on about technical details with the confidence of an internet forum troll. He might be a pain, but at least his scrawny build wouldn't pose much physical threat. Josh, the youngest, stood out like a sore thumb in his black clothes and elaborate sleeve tattoo. Online, he was a conspiracy theorist, dabbling in everything from cryptozoology to UFO sightings. This line of work attracted all sorts. It wasn't exactly a package tour. With introductions over, I grabbed a stool. "All right, ground rules one last time," I announced. Josh scoffed while the lovebirds, Keith and Kim, giggled and playfully nudged each other. Bruce, however, gave me his full, hawk-eyed attention, barely blinking. "Number 1, I began. We stick together. No lone wolves, no dawdling. Break the rule and it's back the way we came." "Understood." Bruce cleared his throat. "Here we go," I thought. "They have to wait for it to go viral before admitting it's fake, right?" Josh scoffed. "This video's been online for weeks, with almost 500,000 views." A short, desultory argument ensued before we finished our drinks. Time to head out. I led them to the van and distributed their gear, cheap cameras and hard hats with built-in lights. "Safety first," I quipped. "Although these won't ward off any subterranean horrors." Josh scowled but accepted his equipment. Phones went into the van and we were set. A short walk brought us to the old Civil Defense headquarters, a repurposed 1940s bunker from the Cold War, decommissioned years ago. It stood well back from the road, but I instructed them to wait before putting on their helmets. There was a hole in the fence I disguised with junk, easy enough to squeeze through. We then circled the building to a door secured with my own padlock. "Hard hats on," I instructed, "but hold off on the lights until we're inside." The old bunker was a labyrinth of concrete and steel chambers. Sparse relics of a bygone conflict, tattered maps, empty filing cabinets, and dusty cans of food lined the walls. We moved quickly, descending the stairs to the basement and then the sub-basement. Bruce, trailing close behind me, launched into an impromptu lecture on NATO nuclear warheads and the Cuban Missile Crisis. Keith and Kim, with their playful nudges, managed to subtly irritate him. Meanwhile, Josh remained silent at the back, likely still fixated on the video. We reached a dead end where the sub-basement wall had crumbled. "Subsidence from old mine workings," I explained. "Going through is risky, but I wanted to warn you beforehand. No accusations later, should things go south." Keith, ever the joker, declared, "Abandon all hope. ye who enter here. For some, a light-hearted quip. Understood, I said, leading them into the damp darkness of the Victorian storm drains. Their initial awe was undeniable. Even Bruce, the self-proclaimed expert, grudgingly admitted, a great achievement of the Industrial Revolution. Keith and Kim, wide-eyed, filmed everything in sight, though their enthusiasm soon devolved into filming each other. Josh remained his usual surly self, but hey, he paid like anyone else. All right, I said, my voice echoing in the tunnel. We're heading downhill under the city. Stay close. If you twist an ankle, your light dies, anything shout. Don't stray, don't explore side passages. And for God's sake, keep up. We stick together. It's the only way out alive. Seems pretty safe, Kim chimed in, oblivious to the damp chill and oppressive darkness. There are rats, I countered, a sly smile playing on my lips. As expected, she scooted closer to Keith, effectively glued to his side for the rest of the trek. The next 10 minutes were a slog through rainwater that seeped relentlessly through cracks in the aging brickwork. A faint tremor vibrated through the tunnel, followed by a distant rumble. Right under the main coastal railway, I announced casually. Bruce shot me a skeptical look but, thankfully, remained silent. An unsettling warmth prickled our skin, a stark contrast to the damp chill that clung to the tunnels like a second skin. The rhythmic drip-drip of water echoed off the brick walls, the only sound breaking the oppressive silence. Even the distant hum of the city seemed muted down here, a world away. Getting a bit warmer. How's that happen? Keith chimed in, oblivious to the growing unease settling in my gut. Deeper you get, the warmer it gets, Bruce droned on, launching into an unwanted mini-lecture. Basic geophysics, I think you'll find. That's when you go really deep, Keith scoffed. Like miles down, closer to the Earth's. Watch a callet? Magma? We're quite deep, I admitted, my voice echoing in the vast chamber. But there's also some carbon dioxide buildup down here. Heavier than air, tends to sink. Their chatter subsided, replaced by a tense silence. We finally reached the end of the main drain. A massive iron grill loomed before us, offering a glimpse of a churning river below, rushing through a colossal culvert towards the distant sea. Is that it? Josh asked, his voice laced with disbelief. The end of the line, I confirmed, a cold dread slithering down my spine. Maybe it was the unnatural stillness that hung in the air, broken only by the gurgling water, or the way the faint greenish glow seemed to emanate from the depths beyond the grate. Whatever it was, a primal fear gnawed at the edges of my consciousness. Bruce scrambled back with surprising agility for his age, but it was a futile effort. A creature unlike anything I'd ever imagined materialized from the green haze, its movements a blur. In a heartbeat, it was upon him, a flurry of limbs and chilling shrieks. The metallic tang of blood filled the air as the creature vanished back through the shimmering portal, leaving behind only a crumpled husk. Panic surged through the group. Kim screamed, a horrific sound cut short as another creature materialized behind her. Keith lunged for her, his face contorted in a mix of terror and desperate protectiveness. But it was too late. The creature snatched her away with inhuman speed. Josh, the ever-skeptical one, finally understood the truth behind the video. He bolted towards me, his eyes wide with terror. But another creature, faster than the others, intercepted him mid-stride. The sickening sound of tearing flesh filled the air as they dragged him back to the portal, his screams echoing in the damp tunnel. The entire ordeal lasted less than 3 minutes. When the silence returned, it was broken only by the dripping water and the ragged gasps of my own breath. The creatures had vanished, leaving behind a scene of unspeakable carnage. They had kept their end of the bargain for now. It was a deal I'd made years ago, back when the world was a different place. Back then, it felt like a necessary evil. Now, the weight of that decision pressed down on me like a physical thing. Who were these creatures? Where did they come from? What did they truly need? The answers remained elusive, shrouded in the same mystery as their origins. One thing was certain: they could return at any time. Until then, I had a job to do. I pulled out my phone and started filming the aftermath, my hands shaking as I captured the gruesome scene. The editing would be crucial. It needed to be believable enough to go viral, yet amateurish enough to seem like a hoax. The age of the internet had its advantages. Back in the day, luring people down here was a Herculean task. Now, with a carefully crafted video, I could ignite a frenzy from the comfort of my own home. A twisted smile played on my lips. The horrors of the unknown were always the most profitable.